It's 6 o'clock, I call this meeting to order. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just stopped saying that. So
All right, first up is the approval of the agenda.
I will move the approval of the agenda for month 12/20/24.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the agenda say yes.
Yes.
Opposed say no. It is approved. Next, we have a special presentation. Take it away.
Hello. Good afternoon.
No.
Good. Okay, I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me. My name is Christy Marsh. I'm the executive director at the White Lake Senior Center. I've been there since 2010, so I'll be celebrating 14 years coming up here in June. I have a couple board members with me today. Lillian Morningstar, Tom George, and John Baldwin are here today with us. I just wanted to thank you guys for your continued support, and we put together this presentation that we brought down to Muskegon Senior Village board meeting, and I thought you guys might enjoy it also. So we wanted to just kind of go through a few things, show you what we did in 2023, and answer any questions that you might have. So this is the first page, shows the front of our building. It's a city-owned building owned by the City of Montague, and it's downtown there, right next to the post office across from the book nook. Do I need to do it?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and, unless you need me to. Oh, look at you, you did something. I'll get it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Well, somebody has to.
Okay.
I'll
So
just
our,
draw.
Do you want a chair?
do you want to share?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know how long I would have lasted like that.
Our weekly schedules are very similar. We have a calendar that we put out every month. Every morning, we do a coffee Monday through Saturday. I do not work Fridays and Saturdays, and the guys go in and do coffee on their own when they're there. We play card games almost every day of the week. We have exercise, toning class, volleyball, do a blood pressure clinic once a week. We play Rummy Cube and wood carving on Thursday evenings. Most of those classes average 15, depending. We have some snowbirds. It kind of changes a little bit, but it can go anywhere from 8 people in a card game up to 20 people in a card game. Same with chair volleyball. Blood pressure, we do maybe 5-6 people a day. So that's just kind of, those classes don't change too much. We do that every week. And this is just some of them playing cards. They're playing Rummy Cube and Pinochle here. So the bottom picture shows, that was just last week. We had 22 people that day, I think, on Thursday. Again, just another picture of them playing cards. We've got it figured out, so we don't send anyone away. If we have an odd number for cards, we'll play 5-handed or whatever. We don't want to have anybody ever have to leave, so we figure out how to keep them there. Our monthly activities, we do a movie every second Monday of the month. We average anywhere from 12 to, last month we had 26 people come for that as a movie. It's just a movie that we pick out and put on the large screen there. Beltone comes in and does a hearing clinic. White Lake Women's Club meets in our building once a month. The Neuro Restorative Group, they rent our building, so they come in once every Thursday evening. There's 10 to 15 of them that come in. That's a local group of disabled individuals that come in and use our building. This is a trip that we took I'm trying to remember when it was, in the summer. We went down to the Gilmore Car Museum. We got some funding through senior millage through the City of Montague. So we were able to offset that. So the people who went down only had to pay $20 to go with us that day. And this was Frederick Meyer Gardens. We went and did that one, and we saw their Christmas trees. That was in December, and we did not have funding, so those people paid for that trip. We just took a couple cars and went down and then stopped for lunch and had a great time. That was a lot of fun. It's kind of new. The trips are kind of a new thing for us. This is one of our special events. We do a ladies' tea once a year. We had over 70 women there on that day for the ladies' tea. This is an art class that we did through the senior millage funding. So this, they paid the $5, and then we hired the artist to come in and do this class. And this was another one at Christmas time. We made a Christmas card and then did an ornament to hang on the tree. Again, with senior millage money. This is the men's breakfast. So we do a ladies' tea in May and a men's breakfast in June. Some of you here have been to the men's breakfast before. We serve about 30, 35 people, 30 men for that morning. Just pancakes and sausage, nothing too. Not as fancy as the women, but it's still fun. This is one of the volleyball classes. We move our chairs right out of the way and set up the net and then use a beach ball for the volleyball classes. The harvest dinner we do on the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. This year we served 84 people for Thanksgiving dinner. They love this one. This is a great one. A lot of them don't get to be with family necessarily that week or have that home cooked meal. Down here in the right hand corner is Layla and Jack Lipka, 91 and 92-year-old brother and sister. One of the things that we offer is puzzles. This particular puzzle here, somebody paid us $100 to put together. It was a killer. It was a tough one, right? It was a hard one. And we had it framed and then hung up at the Catholic Church. So we have puzzles for loan, books, magazines, computers. We do quite a few room rentals. I wrote down in my notes here. Last year we had 13 room rentals besides the neuro group that comes in. They come in 4 times a month. But so we charge $100 for a room. If you're not a member, if you are a member, it's $40. So they can rent our room out. This year already, we've done 6 baby showers, wedding showers. So we have a lot of the community coming into our building, not just the seniors. Medical lending. Today I had 2 people call. One person looking for a bedside commode, another person looking for a shower chair. So that's a big thing that we do too. We have a lot of wheelchairs, walkers, that type of stuff. And then the references we refer. AARP is a service that comes into our building on Monday mornings. We've been averaging 19 people. Again, they come from outside the community. We have already done 131 people this year. Only 19 of them are senior center members. So they are coming from outside the community. And then just a place to hang out and be friends and get together. And Friday night football is something we started during COVID, and we've kept that up. They love it. We do pizza, and they come in on a Friday night and just hang out. We did the Michigan game this year, too. That's a lot of fun. And then I put on there the sponsors, the Senior Millage, City of Montague, City of Whitehall, Fruitland, Whitehall, Montague, White River, and Claybank are the ones that have supported us in the last couple of years. Trying to see if I have all my. I do have our budget, and I do have a calendar if anyone's interested in those. One thing I figured out when going through in all of the visits and how many people, we average about 170 visits a week. We have that many people. Several of them are repeat people that come in for coffee or play cards twice a week. But we have 170 times a week our doors are open for people to come in. So we hope if you haven't come there that you will come on in and check us out. We have a good time.
Thank you.
Answer any questions?
I've been there a few times, periodically, and it's a very nice environment. I come in
early in the morning and talk with some of the guys that are even older than me.
Yeah.
There you go.
And,
You don't have to be a senior citizen to come into our building. We have no age limit.
Right, and you're always very good at coming around and filling up the coffee, and the donuts are always fresh too.
It's good to get that relationship, you know, if I didn't do the coffee in the morning, I wouldn't know those people like I do, like, they're my friends. It's a fun job,
I think it's a great place.
yeah.
I've been there a number of times myself and enjoy stopping in and talking with people.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you for,
Yeah.
you're doing a great
Yeah.
job there.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun there. I wanted to mention money wise, our budget is running about $45,000 to $48,000. 21,000 came last year from the municipalities. Just so you kind of know where we're standing. Everything we do, we have no guaranteed income, so everything we do is self-funded fundraisers for our municipalities. We do poker tournaments, pumpkin roll, bake sale.
You said you met with the county village committee there. I understand that the village is up for renewal this year. Do they have any insight as to I think it's gonna pass or?
No, Kim might more than that
No
than I
idea.
do, but they're just very hopeful.
We'll
They
just
started
see.
the committee, and I hope so.
I would certainly encourage people to renew the village. I think it's a good thing.
Chrissy, may I offer a
Yeah.
couple words? I'll do it for that here. I've got $1,000. I'm one of the guys that usually attend the morning breakfast meetings or coffee meetings. And we have a variety of discussions, and it goes anywhere from religion to politics to, we have one fellow there, Jack Lipka, he's our historian, but he also runs the wood carving class. And it's just a lot of fun to get together with all these guys and talk about all the different subjects. It's not just one little boring subject every day. It's a variety of things. And if you have a question about something, somebody can answer for it.
Sometimes the discussion does get lively.
Only when Kim's there.
Hey,
Whenever I go there, I get regularly grilled.
hey.
It's not always like
I
that.
enjoy going there and speak with people.
It's fine.
All right, anyone else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
And moved in second, is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
Let me see what page it's on. There's a charge for Peccadillo's parking, $908.50. What is 50%? What are we paying for there?
We paid for 50% of them to install an ADA designated parking spot.
Oh, so they have the money, but it hasn't been started yet.
No, it's the project's totally done, other than a
Oh.
sign.
Okay.
The cement pad has been poured, it's been painted, it's marked. The project was $1,800 and some dollars. They paid the contractor in full, and we're going to reimburse them half of that cost
Oh, okay.
for council's support.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of the consent agenda say yes.
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 Opposed say no.
No.
Consent agenda is approved. Next up is message from the mayor, city council, manager. Manager, please.
I don't believe I have anything this evening, Your Honor.
Okay, Steve.
I guess what we're looking at down there on the new development, that's a stairwell. Is that what I?
The stairwell's to the east, the elevator's on the west.
Oh, okay. They started on the elevator too. The stairwell is close to the
Yep, stairwell's,
bike path.
yes.
Okay.
Stairwell's the one that already has all 4 stories on it.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I was. The only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
I have two questions for Mr. Hubler.
Mhm.
One is, do you happen to know off the top of your head when leaf vacuuming starts? I've had 3 or 4 people already asking me, and I have leaves out already.
Not off the top of my head. Off the top of your head?
April 14th through the 28th. So I was gonna bring up.
Okay.
It is, huh?
Yeah, it was in the city's Facebook page, didn't it?
I went on the city website and I
Yeah,
couldn't find it.
14th through the 28th.
Okay.
And I don't know when the sticker.
Stick one's usually
May.
the first weekend in May, I think.
Yeah, the first week in May typically, yeah.
First Monday in May they start.
Right.
If they get through all the way. The other question I have is, when, I don't remember who it was that approved it, Gilroy's put in their, pro gas filling station.
Mhm.
Wasn't one of the requirements that they have a fence around it?
Correct, and I've been working with them. They have secured a contractor. They've signed an invoice, so it should be going up fairly soon.
Okay. That's all I have.
I had the week pickup undone.
I have a question concerning Funnel Park. Is it possible to put up a couple of more of the signs relating to dogs, keeping them on leashes and cleaning up? There's one sign at the west parking lot, and just the one. And I got a couple of people comment on dogs running loose and so on, so.
We can look at that. Thought there was one by the softball fields, but maybe not.
I looked,
Okay.
unless I looked right by the parking lot, now not down by the field.
Well, yeah, we would have put it up by the parking lot, but, all right, we can probably put a couple of those up.
Are those ones that have the bags as well, or?
I don't think there's any of the bags. I don't,
I didn't know if that
that would be a good idea.
Cause I know there's some along like that. Well, it's good to be back. I was able to watch the meetings, so it was a little bit late at night for the first one, but it was great to be able to tune in at least and participate in that regard. So kudos to the team at CatchMark for putting them on the live stream. I have one. I noticed that the audio was a little bit tricky. Sometimes it was really hard to hear. And I know I've had some comments from folks that attend regularly that they can't hear us. So I don't know if these microphones can are they on? Is it on?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll try to pull them closer and maybe we can do that. So I didn't know if they would interfere with the audio, but maybe that will help the audio on the recording too. So that's all I have. Good to know about the audio, because I know I've had comments before too, and sometimes people say, well, you're talking to the other council members, but that's what we're supposed to be talking to, so I apologize. Excuse me, I am losing my voice as well, so.
Can you hear her now?
Can you hear me a little better? So bringing it up made a difference, is that good? And I'll try to speak louder, but I have the virus that doesn't seem to leave you for months and months, so. And I'm not contagious, Debbie, I promise. I'm just grouchy, that's all. I'll get over it. Couple of things. One, the senior millage. I went to the kickoff last week, and very, very helpful to go around table by table and see what different services are available and listen to them. I picked up a lot of information, and I actually they're going to send me quite a few of these for distribution, their annual report. So I'll be able to, they're going to send it to City Hall.
Okay.
And then for distribution, because it's good information. It's good information. Talks about different usage and who's doing what with what and the annual budget. And I also have 12 signs that I will make available to people who will put them out. So I'm sure I will find homes for them, but if you really want one, they're going to be putting them out mid-June, so I have about a dozen. So I do think it is really important, so especially for the City of Whitehall, because we're all getting older. we have an aging population in particular. So, and then also just a reminder, I need to get this to you, Brenda, but May 18 is the free, they call it the free dump day out at the transfer station. So that's the day that you can take specified things, you can get your garbage out there and not have to pay for it. So, but you do need to look at what is taken and not taken, but I'll get you that so that you can post that. Also, could we get something in the newsletter?
It is in the newsletter.
Oh.
Yep, it will be. I mean, it will be
Oh,
published. Right now, it's
excellent.
already in there.
Yeah, and one more thing, I need to get you the schedule of our solid waste authority meetings so that you can post them.
Perfect. Thank
So, anyway, so thank you very much.
I sit on the White Lake Fireworks Committee. It's a number of individuals. We're trying to raise funds so we can have fireworks on the 4th of July, and we're looking for some volunteers to help us do that. So anybody that'd be interested in working with that committee, get hold of me, and let's ensure that we have another 4th of July fireworks display this year. All right, with that, we'll move on to public comment. Anyone?
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Billy, Whitehall. I wanted to speak tonight about the Playhouse at White Lake. I know budget talks are going to be happening soon, and I wanted to let City Council know how much the Playhouse means to me. Last April, Beth Beeman graciously allowed Walk the Beat to hold our kickoff party at the Playhouse. That night, Walk the Beat hosted 20 Whitehall and Montague students and their families so the students could receive their musical scholarships and instruments. One Whitehall dad contacted me a few weeks after the event to tell me that his son was still talking about it. His son told him that it was the highlight of his life thus far. Also in attendance that evening were many nonprofit organizations as well as our 2 mayors. A great time was had by all. As a member of White Lake Area Women, I have attended 2 of our quarterly meetings at the Playhouse. On both of those evenings, after enjoying the camaraderie of my fellow members, we raised $10,000 for Whitehall and Montague nonprofit organizations. Every Monday and Wednesday, I practice yoga at the Playhouse with 20 to 30 others. Those in attendance often remark what a beautiful setting the Playhouse is. I've gone to many events at the Playhouse, although I have to say the Tom Petty cover band still remains my absolute favorite. How grateful I am that Whitehall offers this setting in our community. It offers entertainment and culture and is truly one of the reasons why Whitehall is becoming such a popular place to live and visit. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
My name is Wayne Thuma, and I wanted to speak about the snowmobiles on the walking trail. I recently took a walk on the trail between the library and Warner Street and saw obvious damage to the asphalt in the snowmobiles. Their tracks are grinding down the asphalt, you know? And I got here, council members and other concerned citizens should take a walk on the trail mentioned above, you know, library and Warner Street. And it's just, you know, really obvious the damage and like at the White Howmet parking lot there off White Lake Road, there's, I don't know, a red tile, big red tiles, you know, and one of them are really, you know, smashed up. And so, you know, and then if you go the other way to Benson Street, you know, you can see the damage, and there's a curve there that's got real grinded down. But I found a statement from the Michigan State Parks and Recreation Division, and it says, the metal studs are commonly used on the treads of snowmobiles as safety enhancing devices along with the cardboard runners has been damaging the paved trails. This damage has created a rough and undesirable surface for the summertime time users as well as shortening the useful life of the pavement. And I've got the website if anybody's interested. So, like, if the trail keeps getting damaged, I mean, who's going to be paying for that? You know, does the City of Whitehall assume the responsibility of, you know, fixing the trail? And another thing that's just kind of strange is, you know, motor vehicles are banned. You know, there's signs all over, but yet, you know, they get to, you know, ignore the law basically. And it's just like the trail was created so the community can walk and bike and other activities, you know, that many enjoy in this community. And, you know, maybe the council could reconsidering, you know, favoring a special group to the detriment of the great majority of community members. So, thank you.
Oh, I'm curious, was the article that you referred to that about the damage, was that specific to our trail here?
No, just state of Michigan,
Okay.
yeah. So,
I may point out that the council has approved the use of snowmobiles on the trail throughout the community.
Mhm.
That is something that can be taken away if there's enough interest in the community and the council wishes to do that, that can happen.
all right, like I say, I mean, if you just take a short walk in the library,
I'm aware of it.
you can just see it, you know. So,
I walk a lot, I am aware of it.
all right, well, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I was on council, if I'm remembering correctly, I think that the council voted it down. I don't remember who was on with me, and it was a referendum. So it was a vote of the city to allow, because the group that wanted to snowmobile, is that right, Scott?
I don't believe so. I think the city council just passed an ordinance on their own.
I don't
That
know,
would
I
allow
thought that we said no, and they went to a referendum, but regardless, they are, the West Michigan snowmobilers are supposed to maintain the trail, and repair damage. That was part of the deal. And also, our DPW is supposed to be out there every year taking photographs from the baseline that we took years ago, so we know what it was like. So I don't know what's happened with that.
Nope, the city is responsible for maintaining it, and we do monitor damage, and when necessary, we make repairs. The West Michigan Snowmobile Association also does a great job at putting down the rubber mats on the bridges, and they also groom it for the snowmobilers during the winter. Now, this winter was a little different, obviously, so.
I think part of the challenge is the lack of snow this year.
Mhm.
On the other hand, but I don't know. I would look back at that, Scott. I didn't think that it was the city that we were supposed to repair the trail.
Yeah, it's with the DNR grants that we received to put the trail in, it is on us to maintain it.
We should rethink what we're doing.
If there's grants involved, then we probably couldn't discontinue it anyway, could we?
The state could seek reimbursement of those grants plus interest if we fail to live up to the requirements. I don't know if they would go that far, but that is one of the provisions in the grant agreements, typically.
I hate to see that come to an end anyway, just because people come from a long ways down the trail and whatever. It'd be nice if we could avoid the damage, but I do like seeing people come from Hart or wherever they're coming from.
The damage is the result of people using the trail when there's insufficient snow on it. I think there is some sort of requirement that there has to be 4 inches of snow, and the last snowfall we had, there was people on it. So until we can stop irresponsible use of it, I think it's something we're gonna have to either relook at, maybe stopping them coming through, or accept the fact that they're gonna use it and damage it, and we're gonna maintain it. It's certainly something for future discussion.
Well, it also damages it, like if you're a rollerblader or a bicycler, you know what I mean? So.
All right, is there any further public comment? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Randy Powers. I'm here with my wife, Andrea. So we came to talk about, if you want history, then I present today, please ask. But so in March of 2023, I caught my neighbor with a laser light, antagonizing my dogs in the backyard. So I did confront my neighbor at 4:30 in the morning. I just stepped out and I said, "Sir, really?" I said, "You say my dogs bark, but obviously we know why they're barking now." So since then, we have had issues with the neighbor calling the police on us anytime our dogs bark. If we let them out to go to the bathroom and our dog barks at a squirrel, he calls the police. So we have been the unfortunate recipients of a barking dog citation. We did fight the citation, and the citation was dismissed. We did take precautions. I had a talk with the neighbor. My son was present. I asked him to not say a word, just to be a witness. And I talked to the neighbor about, hey, let's put up a few sections of privacy fence here so there's, the noise of my dog's bark doesn't make it all the way to your door. This gentleman did nothing but cuss me out and then can start verbally abusing my wife, who wasn't even present. So over the year, I've learned the only time he calls the police is when my wife is home. He doesn't do it when I'm home. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I've never been aggressive towards a gentleman in any way, shape, or form. So we are asking that the barking dog ordinance be looked at. We do believe that during certain hours, what we wrote down, just as an example, is from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., sort of a quiet time. But during the times that this gentleman is calling the police, we received a citation at 3:41 p.m. in the afternoon. My wife had just gotten home from work, let the dogs out, went into the bathroom, and before she can get out of the bathroom, the police officer was knocking on our door. There was no investigation done by the police officer. He just said, "I sat out here for 5 minutes, heard your dogs barking. Here's your citation." If the police officer would have done his job correctly, he would have found everything that we have done to prevent this. We put fence panels on our decking, which looks horrible, but we did it to appease our neighbor. We put cameras around our house so we could try to catch him antagonizing our dogs again, so we'd have proof. So we have cameras around our house now. We have barking collars on our dogs. We don't use the shock function, we use the vibrate function. Our dogs are family. Typically, and I did tell my neighbor, I said, if you are ever invited to my house, my dogs have a spot on the couch before you do. That's not true for everybody, but it is true for him. So we would ask that you guys seriously take a look at this ordinance and please make some changes, because it is creating an issue for us.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Further? No one else? Then we move on to old business. I don't believe we have any old business.
No, sir.
We have new business, resolution 2410, Funnel Field basketball courts.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2410, funnel basketball court replacement.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just amazed at the difference in the prices.
I have a question.
$35,000.
Well, to address that, Bob's Asphalt and Paving has previously been awarded the paving project for the cemetery. So a lot of times you see, they're in town, they can do both.
Okay.
There's not the mobilization cost that's been thrown in. I don't think it's $35,000 worth of mobilization, but that's probably why they were able to give us a very favorable bid.
How thick is that gonna be? Is that like 4 inches or?
Oh, I have no idea.
It meets the National Federation of State High School Standards, so whatever that is, that's what the bids. Yeah.
Did you know that?
Because I
It's
wrote
in
the
your-
bid, so I know.
So-
But I don't know, I don't remember how many inches it was, so.
And they're also enlarging that parking lot.
Not as part of this. We're going to look at, what we can do with that. Brian thinks that we probably will only be able to do a kind of an overlay, maybe a chip and seal and an overlay.
So it's asphalt basketball courts or cement?
It's going to be asphalt, from what I believe.
National.
She's going to stick with
I'm just
that.
going to keep saying that. Yeah.
I will confirm, but it's my understanding it's going to be asphalt.
Thank you.
My question is, I'm not questioning the project. We designated that $90,000 from the sale of that lot on the lake to go towards parks.
Yes.
Which is where we had the $90,000 to be able to do this. Since the bid came in so much lower than the $90,000, I just want to make sure that we still have the excess $47,000 to do something towards parks still.
Yeah, we're also going to do out of that 90,000. We will do the parking lots as much as we can at Funnel Field, and then see where we're at. We also designated $10,000 to go towards the irrigation improvements at Goodrich Park. So we still got some items out there that hopefully still come under bids, and we'll come back to council. Maybe it's a swing set somewhere, or I don't think we're going to have a big ticket item when we're all said and done, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question concerning that is, I know that they are a paving company, but are they also going to be painting the lines and installing the hoops?
Well, there you go, Brenda.
Well, now you're beyond me.
My concern is that it says paving and it doesn't say anything about a finished court, which would entail lines and installed hoops.
Yeah, I believe the Public Works Department has already bought the hoops, and they'll probably install them themselves. That's kind of something within our capabilities. The painting, I'll double check with Brian and see if that's included in the Bob's Asphalt. I've done that back in a prior life. It's a lot of fun because you get to spill paint and then just roll it. You don't have to be real until you start doing the lines. Then you have to be careful. But we'll double check on that with Brian.
So this 52,000 is for the replacement of the parking lot at Funnel Field?
Nope, this is strictly the two basketball courts.
Just the two
at Funnel
basketball,
Field.
the 52,000 is just the two basketball courts?
Correct.
Okay. Any further questions on this?
Let's see how this includes the parking lot replacement.
It does.
The budgeted amount. Yeah,
Yeah, the 90,000 includes.
yeah, the budgeted amount.
You good with that? All right, roll call, please.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Hillebrand,
Yes.
Kabala,
Yes.
Sittingdale,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Zemer,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes. Resolution 2410 is approved. We'll get some new basketball courts. Do we have a start date on that?
We do not as of this moment. Once we talk to the company and say they've got the bid, then they'll give us a schedule.
Good. All right, last up is public comment. Anyone else want to make a comment? Do we have any students? And we have a student. Okay, you need to come to the podium and share your name and your teacher in your class, and we'll sign your paper after the meeting.
My name is Marley Bates. My government teacher is Miss Joe Brunson, and I go to Montague High School.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As soon as the meeting's concluded, we'll sign that for you. Thank you. Okay, last opportunity for anyone to say anything.
I have one further thing I forgot about.
Okay.
Scott, do we have any idea when we might be able to comply with whatever county or the state or whatever with getting the art wall, whatever painted?
Have you been down there today?
No, I was down there yesterday though.
DPW was heading down there today to paint over. And then we'll put signs out. We've notified the police department to keep, extra watch on it. So I don't know how much they completed, but it was weather dependent. So
I'll clap for that.
On social media that it was turned over, so hopefully it will.
Wasn't on there all day, but yesterday I took the dog for a walk and we went down there and
Still there.
I thought since we've been having all the breaks we've been having in the weather that we might be able to get it done before the guys get busy doing road projects and lawn work and everything else.
I'm not sure how far they got because I wasn't down there today either, but probably be on my way home. Probably a lot of us will go by.
Glad to hear it. I went through there last Saturday and with a couple of grandsons riding bicycles. And I forget what his name was, said about the bike trail. You can definitely see the snowmobile damage. But we noticed all the stuff was still all there. And I wondered, when's that going to get painted? So I'm glad to hear that it's painted over. Good deal.
I do have one question, Scott. You had sent around the comment that Ryan in Public Works had made about the outhouse down in.
Correct. Yes.
The
marina.
And I was just curious what the others on the board thought of that. That it's as far as Brian's comment was, Public Works comment was that they didn't want to put a porta-john down there likely to get damaged or vandalized. And I don't.
Yeah, we typically discontinue most of our porta-john rentals during the winter. And down at the marina, a lot of stuff happens down there. The main concern is that it'll probably end up in the lake. It's just the way people are these days. And we haven't had a lot of demand for one down there during the winter. So that's a recommendation of the Public Works Director, is that we not put one up.
It's not, but it's not just the winter, I don't think. When do the bathrooms get open?
We open those, it's very weather dependent. As soon as we feel comfortable that we're not going to get a lot of freezes overnight, then we will open up the bathrooms. That's true throughout all the parks. Could be within a week never mind. I've seen the weather for next week. So it's always weather dependent, but as early in the spring as we can, and we typically shut them down late October, early November in the fall. So you're usually talking about 4, maybe 5 months of not having that service available.
Is there a way to chain a porta-john to a tree?
Chain it to a tree, brother.
We can take a look at it for next winter and see if there are some options.
I mean, this year's a little unusual, but
right.
For the people have been down there, half a dozen people or even more sometimes for months.
There was a good 20-25 there last weekend.
Yeah.
Every pier and every tier had at least one person on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got all these seniors, they
You gotta know
All right. We're adjourned.
I know how that is, believe me.
Yeah.